The Atlanta Falcons select Matt Ryan.
Matt sets. Oh, he's going to fire, and out there's Julio Jones, and it's caught! Touchdown Atlanta!
The New York Jets select Vernon Gholston. The Baltimore Ravens select Joe Flacco.
The Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions of the world.
2008, a pair of longs. Jake and Chris, taken with the top two selections of the NFL draft. Matt Money Smith here alongside our draft analyst and former NFL scout, Bucky Brooks. It's another installment of our draft do-overs. Bucky, doing it a little bit different today, a complete overhaul. Picks 1 through 10. So what stood out to you in this draft?
Well, this draft was difficult because you had to make a decision. Did you want to take the quarterback at the top of the board, or did you want to go with the best available player? Really difficult decision when you're sitting at number 1 with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and so much talent found late in the draft that year. Let's get a look at some notables not taken in the top 10. And here you see a lot of talent. Joe Flacco not in the top 10. Jamal Charles, Chris Johnson. Obviously a lot of running backs. Ray Rice, Matt Forte was a second rounder. Deshaun Jackson, been in the news a little bit lately. So why don't we get it going here with pick number 1. The Dolphins are on the clock, and they have multiple needs, Bucky.
Multiple needs at that point. Bill Parcells had to make the decision. If you fall in love with the quarterback, then you take him number 1. He didn't think that there was a quarterback worthy of being number 1, so he took Jake Long, made sure he was that. I would go with the franchise quarterback because you have to have a quarterback to win the game. Think about what Matt Ryan has done in Atlanta. Outstanding player, has led him to the playoffs 5 out of 6 years. He is a fantastic player. I think he would have been good for the Miami Dolphins. Kept them out of the back.
So Matt Ryan's off. That means no Matt Ryan there. What about the second pick? Chris Long, a big part of that Rams defense right now.
So now if the first person is not going, I'm going to take Jake Long and move him to St. Louis. St. Louis eventually got him anyway to solidify the left side of the line. Now you have him solidifying the presence to make sure Sam Bradford is comfortable. I'm okay with Jake Long coming in.
All right, so again, Matt Ryan is here. That means the Falcons have to select somebody else.
Well, they got to take a quarterback. Let's go with a small school standout, Joe Flacco from Delaware. How can you not like Joe Flacco and what he's been able to do?
Do you not like
he
that
and
mascot?
Matt Ryan have been similar in terms of winning games. Super Bowl MVP, getting it done. He still drives some people crazy because he's not the classic franchise quarterback, but when you look at his resume, it's hard to dispute his winning percentage and the fact he has a shiny Super Bowl ring. I think Atlanta would gladly have Joe Flacco on their team.
All right, I see that Pig Suey there at number 4 for the Raiders. Darren McFadden certainly flashes in his career, but injuries have plagued it thus far. What do you do if you're the Raiders?
Well, if I'm the late Al Davis, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the fastest guy that was at the draft. How about CJ2K? Chris Johnson coming in to Oakland, playing in the black hole. This guy has 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons entering the league, 2,000-yard year. He has been phenomenal. You think about his production, his big playability in Oakland, a team that is always built and predicated on their speed from their skill players. I think Chris Johnson is a very good pick at that point.
All right, and this kind of began a stretch of defensive linemen that were good but not great in Kansas City at number 5.
Yeah, Glenn Dorsey didn't quite live up to expectations, so we will go someone, same draft that they took in the 3rd round. Jamal Charles. This guy doesn't get enough credit for the dynamic ability he brings to the table. Outstanding do-it-all playmaker. Run it, catch it, makes big plays. I think he would be a fit. I think they would take him a little sooner this time.
All right, and I know it's snarky, and I know people are going to hate me for saying it, but I'm going to keep Vernon Gholston.
I think Vernon Gholston was a good pick for your team with the Jets. However, I would think that Rex Ryan wants someone who represents Jers. How about Ray Rice? From Rutgers, State University comes in, big playmaker. He has the ability to run it, catches the ball out the backfield. Rex Ryan's ground and pound. Ray Rice is a perfect fit.
Certainly, and like you said, stays home. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights, DeGane Green. How about number 7, Cedric Ellis, USC?
No, I'm going to keep it local, though, but I'm going to go with Deshaun Jackson.
Okay, stay in the Pac-10 at the time.
He's been in the news a little bit. But this, hey, look, explosive playmaker, the biggest playmaker to enter the league since 2008. 35 receptions, over 40 yards since 2008. Big-time playmaker, explosive, stretches the field, over 17 yards a catch. Can you imagine?
Do you think Drew Brees could get him the ball?
Drew Brees having Deshaun Jackson on the outside, Sean Payton sitting in the lab trying to draw up big plays. I think that's a great fit for Deshaun Jackson.
I don't know. You say Lance Moore to me seems like a Deshaun Jackson type. You want to keep Derek Harvey, right?
No, I think we'll move. We'll move Derek Harvey off the board.
Take him down too?
How about that? We'll go with a safe pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They haven't been able to really be consistent on the offensive line. Ryan Clady's been a multiple-time Pro Bowler. Comes in, solidifies that. Maybe if Ryan Clady's there, Blaine Gabbert doesn't struggle as much when he's at quarterback.
So now that solves the Blaine Gabbert issue.
Absolutely. Maybe he's protected.
How about number 9, the Bengals, Keith Rivers?
Hey, look, Keith Rivers was okay. The neck injury, Hines Ward blowing him up really changed his career. Marvin Lewis has done a great job of taking troubled players and having them have success. How about Aqib Talib coming in? Ball hawk, natural playmaker, over 6 foot, has the ability to really play man-to-man, zone, gets a lot of interceptions and takeaways. I think he'd be a good fit in Cincinnati. The Queen City.
Had a chance to get him this offseason, but just chose not to pay him $54 million to play corner.
See, we got him at a cost-efficient deal right there in the first round.
How about the Patriots, speaking of Aqib Talib, as they watched him depart their facility this offseason?
Now, it's tough because Gerard Mayo has been a really good player for the New England Patriots, but I just think you have to build around the quarterback. How about Matt Forte being in New England? This is a guy who I think will eventually be in the 100,000-yard club, 100 receptions, 1,000 yards rushing. I think he can do that because he has special skills. Put him with Tom Brady. Allow him to be that do-it-all playmaker from the backfield. He probably could have supplanted Kevin Falk in that role. Now you have a big guy that can run in the power sets, but is also agile enough to be a receiver out the backfield. I like this pick, and I know Tom Brady will be pleased.
How many more Super Bowls? How many more Super Bowls for the Patriots if Matt Forte and that green wave is back in there?
I mean, I think they've been to the Super Bowl enough, but I think he gives them the balance that they need. I think he makes Tom Brady happy. Consequently, Gisele is happy.
Whoa, all right, there it is. Even a Gisele Bundchen reference. Matt Ryan to the Dolphins, Flacco to the Falcons, a complete do-over for picks 1 through 10, and a reminder for the rest of Bucky's 08 draft first-round do-overs. Check out NFL.com/draft do-over.